notice in myself a lifelong pattern of trying to impress others so I don't disappear into the background. It's this belief that says you are only valuable when you're noticed. And I pray about this a lot, and God keeps bringing me back to experiences from my childhood that helped shape that fear that if I go unnoticed, my life will amount to nothing. And I know I'm not the only one. This is deeply human, but shame often surrounds the desire to be seen because we label it as attention seeking or being too needy, so we rarely talk about it honestly. But many of these behaviors, they're just learned survival. In psychology, it talks about things like attachment wounds and core beliefs. It's the idea that early experiences shape the lens through which we see ourselves and relationships and even God. The way you were loved, the way you were corrected, whatever got you attention, whatever made you feel invisible, what made you feel safe or rejected. Our mind and nervous system build conclusions from those experiences that if I don't fight to be recognized, I'll disappear. And most people stop there and judge the behavior. But both psychology and the Bible invite us to ask deeper questions. Where is the shame coming from? What am I afraid is going to happen? Because fear and shame always drive something. I'm afraid I'll disappear, so I over-explain, so I people please, so I perform or panic when I feel overlooked, so I constantly try to prove my worth. And our reaction, both to others, but especially seeing this in ourselves, can seem so dramatic until you see the wound underneath it. And psychology has language for this. It's maladaptive behaviors, maladaptive coping mechanisms, or schemas. It's basically unhealthy ways that we learn to meet legitimate needs, because the need itself isn't wrong. The need to feel safe and loved and seen and accepted and comforted and connected and secure, those are God-given needs. But when wounds shape us, we often learn unhealthy ways to meet them. And then we feel shame for the behavior without realizing there's pain underneath it. And the Bible talks about this in several places, but I always come back to Romans 12:2, which talks about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. What you need to know is that it's safe to bring your wounds and emotions and fears and needs to Jesus, and not to keep pretending they're not there or to keep responding out of those things. When you do that, Jesus will heal you by meeting those needs the way they were meant to be met. He made you. He knows how to meet those needs. If you've never brought those things to Jesus, that's your first step. Shame will only push you in the opposite direction of where you want to go. But Jesus says, come to me and rest from comparison and rejection and performance and anything else that you might try to run to find healing, but it's not working for you. You do not have to perform for God to be loved by Him.